Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we are going to take a look at Gene Hakman. So this is everything in my collection from Gene Hakman. Without further ado, let's dive in and take a look. We're going to start this off with a performance. I'm not even going to speak on the performance because Gene Hakman, that man, just about everything he's in, he turns it into gold. Anyway, we got Sharon Stone, Gene Hakman, Russell Crowe, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Keith David, and a host of others in this movie. The Quick and the Dead. This movie got a banging cast. Just these four, but it's way more people in here than this. Like I said, Keith David and I forget the other guy's name. The dude from Pumpkinhead. He's in a lot of stuff. I forget his name, but this movie was banging. A good Western movie. Let's see. Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, Gene Hakman, and a host of others again. Wyatt Earp. Now, again, this movie is a lot of, in the movie community and movie lovers, movie collectors, there's always a controversy with this and Tombstone, which is the better movie. I think I answered that question twice. Now, if you want to go by the more accurate movie, the more serious movie, you're going to go with Wyatt Earp. Because it's got a longer runtime. It's got a slightly darker tone to it. Both of them got dark tones. But this got a darker tone to it. Now, if you want to go for the one that's got the star power, this one got star power. But if you want to go with the one that's going to have the Hollywood buzz to it, you know what I'm saying? The one that's going to put the asses in seats, you'll go with Tombstone. And the reason why I say you go with Tombstone is for one person and one person only. Val Kilmer's performance as Doc Holliday obliterates this. I mean, Val Kilmer, he killed it in that movie as Doc Holliday. He made that. Val Kilmer pushed that movie over this movie. If it wasn't for Val Kilmer's performance as Doc Holliday, this would have been the better movie all the way around. Banging movie. Wyatt Earp is a good movie. Like I said, nothing against Wyatt Earp, but Tombstone is the better movie. They both are centered around Kansas City lawman Wyatt Earp, and Tombstone is the better movie, but Wyatt Earp, to me, is the more realistic movie. They both, you know what I'm saying. All right. Next up, we have Gene Hakman, Willem Dafoe, Mississippi Burning. Brad Dourif is in here. This got a solid cast in it, too. And this movie is a pretty tough watch. It's a pretty tough watch. I think all the movies based on, like, early America, back in, like, back in the 50s, 60s or whatever, a lot of those movies are hard watches because it was just a really bad time in America, especially for black folk. Denzel Washington, Gene Hakman. This right here is one of my favorite movies right here. Crimson Tide. I know I still got it on this bum-ass DVD, right? I'll step it up to a 4K. I don't think a 4K for this is available. I'm skipping the Blu-ray for this one. This is one that I want a 4K for when it comes out, if it's available. Let's see. Gene Hakman, Mary Elizabeth Mastroianni, Class Action. This one was banging. I saw this one. As soon as I got this one, I popped it in. Because, I love Delroy Lindo. So I try to, if I see a movie with him in it, I try to grab it, whether I heard about it or not. Gene Hakman, Danny DeVito, and Delroy Lindo in Heist. This movie was okay. It was a pretty decent heist movie. It wasn't the best, but it was a good watch. You throw this in your player, grab some popcorn or something to drink. You can watch the whole runtime. This one was actually pretty decent. Chris O'Donnell and Gene Hakman in The Chamber. So Gene Hakman plays an old racist who bombed the building and killed kids. I think he killed a whole entire family. He bombed the building. He actually did it. And I think this kid here is not his son, might be his grandson. It's a family member. And he's an attorney. And he's trying to get him off, or not trying to get him off, but trying to get him off of death row so he can avoid going into the chamber. But to no avail. He goes to the chamber. I know I gave you the end, but this is an old movie. He gets gassed for what he did. It was a heinous crime. He is not a case where he didn't do it. He did it, but, you know. Here's another one. This one is really good. John Cusack, Gene Hakman, Dustin Hoffman, and Weiss. I forget her name, her first name anyway. Runaway Jury. This is a banger. This is a real good movie. I dug this. Now, it had a really good plot twist at the end. This was a good movie. Really good plot twist. Here's one. This is from the Criterion Collection. This is a DVD from the Criterion Collection. You don't see too many of those nowadays, but the Royal Tenenbaums. The Royal Tenenbaums. I really did like this. This was very different, I'm trying to tell you. The Royal Tenenbaums. Okay. Will Smith. This is back when Will Smith was Mr. Summer Blockbuster Man. Enemy of the State. This was a good movie when it first came out. I really enjoyed this because, again, this was when Will Smith was riding high off the hog. And this was different from some of the earlier stuff that Will had did. This was really good. I enjoyed this one. Because this one wasn't all about the shoot 'em up bang bang. It showed that Will Smith could do thrillers also on top of action movies. And he did a great job in that movie. This is Clint Eastwood's magnum opus, in my opinion. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris in Unforgiven. Man, what a movie. This is like in my top 5 in my entire collection. Top 5, yeah, definitely. Top 5, top 10, top 5. This will not go slip below my top 10. This is a hell of a movie right here. Even people who really don't like Westerns like this movie. It's a banger. Talk about some quotes, man. Especially at the end when he was riding out of the town. The goosebumps was coming up because it was dark. It was raining. And he was riding on the horse. And he could have got ambushed. He didn't give a damn. He let them know from the muscle, like, look, anybody take a shot at me, I'll burn your house down and kill your wife and kids. I'm like, yo, this dude is crazy. That movie right there, the end, whew, I'm trying to tell you, that was a mean SOB, but they brought it out of him. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't want to be like that, but they brought it out of him when they killed Ned. And then they put his body on display. They killed him, and then they disrespected his corpse. That's what set William Money off. Here's another one. Gene Hackman, Dennis Hopper, and Barbara Hershey. Hoosiers. A classic. A classic. One of the better basketball movies out there. There's quite a few basketball movies out there. And this is one of the better ones. One of the older ones and one of the better ones. I remember when I was looking for this movie when it first came out. Not when it first came out. I remember I was looking for this movie. And it was a tough find, but I was able to track it down and I got it. The Conversation. Now, it was easy to get on DVD, but it was a little, at the time, it was a little bit difficult for me to find this on Blu-ray, but I was able to track a copy of it down. And I'm glad, because this is a really good movie. I really like this movie a lot. Okay, these two here, you can't have one without the other, so we're doing both together. Gene Hackman, The French Connection, Detective Popeye Doyle. What I liked about these two movies is, what I liked about The French Connection 1 and 2 is, 2 picks up, it was almost like these movies, I'm not sure, it was almost like these movies were shot together and they just cut it in half because 2 picks up right where 1 left off. It wasn't no pause, it wasn't no nothing, it just picked up right, it was almost like both of these was shot together and they just cut it to make 2 movies because it would have been a longer runtime. I think nowadays they could have got away with making a movie with a runtime together. They probably could have got this down to about maybe 3.5 hours and they would have been able to get away with a movie that long. I love The French Connection 1 and 2. It was fantastic. One of the greatest car chase scenes out there. You know, I did a poll yesterday. So I did the poll yesterday on the best car chase scene. And The French Connection, was rated higher than Bullet. Now, again, I think it was a good car chase scene. I do. This car chase scene rated higher than the Ronin car chase scene. I mean, you guys, again, I put the polls out for you guys. 2 new polls are going up today. But I think this was the #1 car chase scene between Bullet, Ronin, The Matrix Reloaded, and The French Connection. Y'all picked The French Connection as the best car chase scene. Okay. It was a great car chase scene, but, I thought the car chase scene in Matrix Reloaded was a banger. So was Bullet, and sure as hell, Ronin. That was an animal of a car chase scene. But all right, you guys spoke. Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman, Behind Enemy Lines. This movie was okay, and the reason why I say it's okay is because I'm just not an Owen Wilson fan. Just not. Him and Ryan Reynolds, they just don't do it for me. They just don't. But this movie was okay. If it was anybody other than Owen Wilson, this movie would have been possibly a banger. Possibly. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Ed Harris, Absolute Power. This was a good movie. Fantastic movie. They don't make shit like this no more. They really don't. Gene Hackman was in the Superman trilogy, all three of the original so Superman the movie, Superman 2, Superman 3, actually was 4, and The Quest for Peace. Wait a minute, was he in 3? I think he was in 3. I think he was in 1, 2. Yeah, he was definitely in 1 and 2. I don't think he was in 3. I know he was in 4. Yeah, Superman. And we got A Bridge Too Far. So that's everything Gene Hackman. Let's go ahead and run it back. A Bridge Too Far. Superman, the OG Supermans with Christopher Reeves. Absolute Power. Behind Enemy Lines. The French Connection 1 and 2. You literally can't have one without the other with the French Connection. If you watch 1 and you don't watch 2, you don't get the whole movie. That's one thing I like about the French Connection. You really, I mean, what I like about the French Connection 1 and 2, you gotta watch them both to get the full movie. If you don't, you're only gonna get half the movie. The Conversation, Hoosiers, and I'm surprised the French Connection isn't sold together in a set. Unforgiven. Let's see here. Yup, 4 Academy Awards. Best Director, Best Editing, and Best Supporting Actor. And okay, so yeah, all right. 1992. And it's got and it won the big boy for that year. Won the Oscar. Is it the Oscar? Yeah, the Oscars. Enemy of the State. I get all them damn awards mixed up. There's so many of them. But it's 2 main ones, the Grammys for music and the Oscars for movies, yeah. The Royal Tenenbaums. Runaway Jury, The Chamber, The Heist, well, just Heist, not even the. Class Action, Crimson Tide, Mississippi Burning, Wyatt Earp, The Quick and the Dead. Hackman does really good in Westerns, too. He really does. I mean, really. So that's everything, Gene Hackman. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Idris Elba is coming up right behind this one.